This is like sandblasting too. I mean, I remember being in Katrina's foremost wind, Andrew's winds. I was out in the field. When you get hit with water like this, it's like they are firing BBs on your skin, and that's why. Look at this. This is unbelievable. Look, there we go. There we go.
There goes some roofs.
There we go. Poles are about to snap. Oh, we got a frozen picture. We're a year later in Grand Isle, and God Mayor, I remember driving after Hurricane Ida. I remember the last shot we saw from the island on our camera was the house of the camp flying through before the eye got here.
Exactly.
And bring us back a year ago to now. We see a lot of work, plenty of work. Still a lot of work to go naturally. You're not going to do it in a year on a storm like Ida. But bring us back, and where do you feel you are now?
Well, like you said earlier, you before the storms, like you said, the water was hitting against the rocks, this area here. And then, going through all the disaster, and looking back, and proud to tell you that, we finally got some rocks convinced to save this area here. Mm-hmm. And there was always 4,500 feet from here toward the hurricane hole. There was always erosion. And just picture, like I was showing you a while ago, there's 10 to 12 feet of water hitting these rocks. And then coming in and putting these rocks in this area, you can see how it builds up. And I think we lost 6 or 7 lives. The currents were so strong. And now, we told them to stay off the rocks, but now you see how it's building up. You'll never see me on the eastern end. And this is where it's close to Caminada Pass. This little corner's always been trouble. So we finally got the Corps to come in and they just finished about a month ago and put some more rocks toward Caminada, which is healing on its own. The minute you put rocks, you can see it. I had my grandson, 5 years old, came with me about 3 months ago and looked at it and said, "Papa, look, the land's building up." And just for a 4-year-old coming up to you telling you, "Papa, the land's building up." You don't take a rocket scientist to figure that out,
You've been through so much, Mayor, and I guess I'm trying to get a mindset, because the whole time we were planning on going to different locations and showing what happened during Ida and then showing now, you've just been such a resilient person. But everybody has a point where you start telling bureaucrats or you start telling the government, to hell with you, we're on our own. You've convinced us we're on our own. A lot of this, you and the people of Grand Isle have had to do on their own.
Exactly. We continued, went to meetings, did everything. And listen, we got a good council, got a good little levee board, good port commission, and all our people that live here, the residents and our business owners. We just took it upon ourselves and started cleaning up and helping each other, And that's what we do in Louisiana. But the big thing is, it was always sitting on somebody's desk. So we had to go to Washington, we had to go to Baton Rouge, and look, the governor's been good to us, the congressman's been good to us, the senators. I mean, everybody's been working hard for us, but it was always sitting on somebody's desk, and I just can't take that. So I want to find out where it was at and just move on. But one of the good things is, if you don't go, I told the people I won't be here. My council, they work good together, my levee board. But I'm being honest with you, today, if, our little levee board, and I'm not bragging, but our 3 board members work with the town council, work with the parish officials, and even working with the governor. The governor's been great to us. If they turn this beach over to our little levee board, I guarantee I'd be finished putting rocks. Mm-hmm. When I met with President Biden in Galiana, with Archie and the crew, Gordy Dove, all of us met with President Biden. He said, "What do you need?" I said, "Mr. President, we need about $50 million. I could continue the rocks. And we could continue and working on drainage, working on other projects on the backside of the island in Cheniere. But in the meantime, it's just give me $50 million, keep the rest, and we can heal this island on our own." And they came through with the Corps. Colonel Murphy's been good. They came in, they got $122 million. But now all they're gonna do is they came in, put in this little corner here. But here it is, hurricane season, a year after the storm. Everybody else has been working with us. They never put a bulldozer in this place. I got one little bulldozer, I've been pushing dirt on the burrito bag. The colonel called me August the 8th, told me to open the bids. Now they're gonna come in right when these disturbances come. I hope they don't get in the Caribbean, don't come in the Gulf. They're gonna come back and move the sandbags and put more sand. They're gonna truck sand in. And that's like sugar. Mm-hmm. And here it is, hurricane season. And I'm not here to cut nobody down, but it's time. It's time to step up to the plate and listen to the Cajun engineers. And you got so many engineers all over the state that can tell you exactly what we need. And I'm just very frustrated. And to answer to my people, just to answer to my people, it's they know that we all work good together, but like the Colonel said, we're coming in September, and I'm worried about that. You know, you see 18-wheelers coming in, and the weather's gonna start getting bad. Even if a low pressure develops, we're gonna catch hell. There's 12 different gaps that's covered with the sandbags, with the sun hitting it, and it's deteriorating. So there's no reason. And you know, and our congressmen and senators, maybe we got to change the law. If the money comes in October, anywhere along the coast, we're gonna take a beating. Let's change that. Let's start working in January and get this ready for hurricane season. You know, and that's where the money comes in the 1st of October. And things need to be changed. It's not only by Grand Isle, anywhere along the waters, the coast.
Yeah, and once again, we're talking with the mayor of Grand Isle, David Cormidale. Beautiful, blustery day in Grand Isle. A year ago, this place was being savagely and brutally beat up by a storm. And, you know, we're going to come back and talk with the mayor because all the indications here on the island, everything east of the municipal building was just, I can't even describe to you what we were seeing on the camera before the eye wall even got here. We're going to talk to the mayor, sort of bring you back. We only bring you back so that we can move forward and how we move forward. You almost got to relive it one more time, bury it. It's the year, but he's got a lot of work to do. And so you can't bury the progress, bury the memories, bury the bad stuff, but the progress has to keep going. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back on Grand Isle with the mayor. Don't go away. Grand Isle's on the tail end of the whip, so to speak, and they have no way of watching. We have no way of getting information there until all this moves past. We got heavy damage across the HTV viewing audience. We're back on Grand Isle. We're reliving, really. It's a year anniversary of Hurricane Ida. And you got two guys that went through it pretty good, and I never ever want to see another one like it because I've never seen one like it. Just sort of, once again, we got to relive it to sort of remember, and you could keep getting funding, but what was it like?
It was a challenge, you know. We ordered some barges during the night of the storm, 3 nights before the storm, working with the parish officials, and I knew they was going to lose the water line, and, you know, just try to bring the barges together. It was supposed to hit Morgan City, remember, and the barges were tied up there. In the meantime, you know, trying to get water into the island, you know, just to take a bath. But that was tough, you know. As long as I've been mayor and born and raised here, my dad, when he was elected, used to say, remember, always bring water first. And I felt guilty. I couldn't bring it that quick. But I knew I had it in the barges. You know, and with approval of the council, worked with Jefferson Parish, and even the governor's office, everybody's been great. But to bring water back, and it worked, you know, my hands off to Cindy Trish with Lafourche Parish Water District, calling this man and telling him I needed water that my dad all ran in 1959 from Port Fourchon. I knew the line was still out there, and we could maybe bring water that way and try to meet halfway between the island and Cheniere. So between barging and fixing the water line and, you know, trying to put things together and trucking water in, that's one of the really things that really upset me because, you know, you can't live without water. I lived on my porch for 14 days with my son and, you know, just taking, like the other people, and, you know, just with bottled water, taking a bath, you know, and I remember that when I was a kid at 9 years old for Betsy. But, you know, we bust our tails, we got it in, brought water in, it brought our people back slowly.
And you're right, electricity is one thing, but water is the essential.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I was 9 years old for Betsy, right here in the backyard. And I remember my dad putting a chain like the cowboys with a pot and call all the family. There was 8 families living. I was 9 years old. And we couldn't figure out what he wanted. He told us to find some wood. And we put some wood in the cast iron pot with a chain, and he called the mothers out so mom and all could cook for the kids. But he went up the steps and he grabbed a candle. And he took the candle and he said, remember, a candle makes light, you don't need electricity. Because y'all coloring on the floor. He said, the same candle makes a fire, you don't need gas. But he held a bottle of water, he said, you can't live without water. So I remember Sheriff Kranovich came in and deputized my dad to haul water behind a truck to give to the people. Well, Katrina, we had 5-gallon buckets. We took underneath the summer home camps, we took their tanks out, and Lafourche Parish was coming with fire trucks and filling them up to give people about 5-gallon buckets. So we worked it all out. But this time, I felt guilty that I couldn't make it happen fast enough. But thank God that all of the barges had to go all to the Department of Health, get all that handled through, and that was just to take a bath, not to drink. And then people coming from all over, and I want to thank everybody for bringing water and bringing stuff to us right away, especially y'all pushing this for us. So just between that, I really felt guilty at the time, but now I'm proud to tell you that, you know, we fixed the water line temporary. I got a call from the governor's office last night. There's some grants available, and Biden sent some money in. We're working on it as we speak. The parish has got money to kind of help us put 10 miles of where the water line's damaged. And my hat's off to Cindy Trish. I called this man and I asked him to help me, and he made sure he opened the valve. He said, whatever you need. So we tried to meet, you know, to make sure they got water to take care of everybody.
Well, I can say this for the audience. I'm going to editorialize a little bit with about 3 minutes left. I've never seen a harder working mayor than David Cormandel, and he just feels it, and he's complaining because he didn't get a water line here quick enough. Trust me. He did everything in his power, and he did some miraculous thing. And you're seeing the rocks here. How high did the water get where we're standing right now? Just to give people a gauge.
Yeah, you're looking at right over the rocks, push the beach over the land. You're looking at about, according to the gauges, around about 12 feet of water. Just came right over. And thank God I had the rocks here on that area. But where you don't, we lost everything. It busted the levees completely.
Now y'all moved sand 4 times?
Yeah, we moved it. It's all over the place right now.
It's crazy. Why?
Well, I mean, you got to clean it out.
But it's more environmental. The environmentalists are behind that.
Yeah. You know, and they don't care for me too much. But in the meantime, now we're to a point that, you know, the state came in, finally got a contractor. You saw they digging on the LA1 for drainage, and you know, everybody's been working with us, but it's to put up with all of, you know, like being honest. Right now, I want the people to understand, you know, we don't have a big septic system. Right. Everybody's individual. Right. So everybody's coming to summer homes, all the residents are coming back. You know, we got 82 kids in school, and, you know, you come in to flush the toilets and it's filled up with sand. So the sewer people can't come in and pump the sand out. So the people take it upon themselves and try to clean the cesspool out, but in the meantime, everything drains. There's 125 streets in Grand Isle, plus LA1. So I have to get the Board of Health to come down there to help me so I could push things. I want the people to understand that when you're trying to flush your toilets, it's full of sand. It just covered all the ditches up. So now we're working with FEMA. They dug the ditches out. The governor did a good job sending the state to get a contract in. And then at the same time, we got town streets, and came in, FEMA hired a contractor and working through the parish. Now they won't clean the culverts out. So what good does it do? So if you flush your toilet, your ditch is clean and it can't go through the bay. Right. So I'm fighting that right now. So I'm trying to get another amendment to the contract. And it's always, I don't use the word fight, but it's somebody, it's sitting on their desk. So I got to get a letter of support from different agencies to tell them, look, you sitting up there somewhere in Washington or somewhere in Texas or Arizona trying to answer for me in FEMA, you don't realize that you got a big septic system in your subdivision. Mm-hmm. But in Grand Isle, it's all individual tanks. And again, you know, it's a year that's right now it's up. You know, things are getting better, and it's amazing. You know, we had 2,700 homes that was damaged. We're going to pick up about 72 of them that's got to be demolished as we speak. And we're asking the people out there, if you still own anything you own, please come pick up your mess.
Just some history here. Everybody always wonders why the codes go up. Maybe during Betsy, I think it was 8 foot. You had to build up. After Andrew, especially in Terrebonne, they moved some to 12. Now they're building camps across over here in Grand Isle, 15 feet. And Mayor, explain that dynamic, the rocks coming out of Pass and all, because what you're trying to do here is going to save this entire area.
Exactly. You know, you're looking at coming out of Pass, and 45 feet of water just came in with this storm, came direct hit, and it just about wiped out this little community in the Chenier Caminada. So we got to get our little levee board together, got with our engineers, and put a package together, and asked the governor to come across with, you know, working with Chip Klein and these guys, and we look, we got together. It's amazing how you can work things together, you know. And we put a little project together. We put it out to bid. We got a bid for about 8.9. We was a little short of money, but we worked it all out. and because of the price of fuel went up, we didn't expect that, but we had to add that up quick. And that goes to show you how you work together with the state and the parish officials and the town officials and the levy boards. And it's amazing what you can do, And then you saw me earlier with what's going on with the beach side.
Right.
It takes the federal government forever. And like I said, we can't wait in this area here. And you can see the new construction behind me. And these people are waiting. You see the trailers right here. They're standing by. They want to come back and build. And we promised them that if there's no storms, and again, I'm worried, we're looking at some barges coming in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully there's nothing in the Gulf. Then that changes everything. Yeah. But the way it works.
Let me ask you said about 800 feet in, you were catching big crabs from a front that came through.
Well, that was about the weekend of May the 22nd to Saturday. I stood right in this area here, and the water would come over, and that was like a little front trying to come through, and the waves were just hitting. There was no levee here. So we came with our crew, with the town crew, we started building a makeshift levee to try to protect what we had. And that's when we got the ball rolling. But like I said, without that, and to see the crabs coming across the road, and look, I'm born and raised right here. Yeah. I mean, our kids and grandkids, everybody was just taking nets, and we just told the people, hang them tight. We ain't gonna fool with the federal government right now. We're gonna do what we can, work with the governor, and it worked out fine.
I just got one question, were they full?
Yes, they balled. Yes, believe it or not, we balled them, and we fed the family,
Let me ask you this, Mayor, where these slabs are, these camps, I'm sure just got massacred when the storm came through. Do they plan on rebuilding, and how high?
Well, they're gonna have to go through the codes. You see right behind me in this area here, this is a new code in this area. Like I said, these people, I've been knowing all these people, and like the Christianas, they're friends with the Commodores. They all come from West Wego, that area. Yeah. And they've been here for years, these people. She was a young girl, and she said, David, I'm waiting when the rocks are being put. So you see that everything that was built after Betsy was 8 foot, and with that wave coming in, that was all flood. I had a young couple, they just bought the house 2 weeks before, and they lost it. And I'm proud to tell you today that I told them we're putting rocks, and he signed a contract with a contractor to build him a new home, a summer home. So there's still hope here. We want to give the people hope to come back. Yeah. And you see what's building behind me. You got LSU right behind me. Yeah. It's a doctor from New Orleans, right. And he got American flag. He said, "Can I build them up here?" Absolutely. Yeah. Because look, the lines are there. They fish at night. Yeah. And they got the lights on. Mom. You got
to give them peace somehow, huh?
And listen, and they know that hope's coming. So we're not waiting on the federal government for this project.
Let me ask you this though, because the argument always has been Betsy, Hurricane Betsy. Well, Betsy, these camps survived. Ida, they're completely destroyed. Is there any argument?
No, let me tell you something. That water is more powerful than anything. To know that, like I said, I was 9 years old, like I told you earlier, going through Betsy. But with the building codes today, and some people go, well, especially a young lady comes one time and says, I want my chandelier. So, well, ma'am, you're not going to get your chandelier, but you will get it later. I said, but follow the building codes, because you come from a brick home on the ground, and follow me and listen to us. We're just telling you what we're doing. In Grand Isle, I want the people to know that yes, we probably had a B+ with FEMA. We did everything we had to do with my bill inspectors and the council. We worked good together through all administrations have been through, and worked with the parish, especially with the state. But in the bottom line, with the storms getting this more powerful, I just feel like we want to protect this area.
And I would think, just talking ahead of you, I think the governor scored a high mark too. I think he's been helping out a lot of people, and I throw politics out, throw party out. I think he's done a good job.
Exactly. And listen, I got a phone call from my old friend Sam Jones, way back when he was mayor, and he's working for the governor. Believe it or not, he called me last night. They're going to try to help us with our water situation, the little grants that the Biden administration sent. And he said, the governor told me to call you. So constantly I'm in touch with all. My senators have been great, Pat Connick and Joe Osoroff in my area, and Steve Scalise, Gary Graves, Cassidy and Kennedy. I mean, all these guys, and look, Troy Carter. I love Troy. Troy's been working with us at came. He said, David, this is unbelievable. We're going to help you. We went several times to Washington with our engineers at O'Neill, and Gordy Dove was on my team when we went. And listen, not only by Grand Isle, everybody along the coast needs to be protected. And like I said, as long as there's one grain of sand to plant the American flag, like you see there, we ain't going nowhere.
Well, there you have it from Grand Isle, the mayor of Grand Isle, and he's giving everybody else kudos. We got to give Mayor David Cormandel and his staff big thumbs up, because as we come here a year later in Grand Isle, there's still plenty of work to do, but they have accomplished so much in a short period of time, and the people are resilient, they're upbeat, It's a positive attitude here at Grand Isle, and I know one thing about the mayor here. Even when our cameras will have gone and we're far from Grand Isle, he's going to be beating down doors and picking up phones. So, Mayor, thanks again. We appreciate the effort and good luck to you.
Thank you.
And we're in Grand Isle. We'll take a short break. We'll be back as we make our way back to Terrebonne Parish. Don't go away.